Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second of two candidate forums for the CSU by-election. On Tuesday, we heard from the candidates for at-large representative, and today we've invited candidates for the Capilano Business and Professional Society Vice President, Accessibility Justice Coordinator, a Queer Students Liaison, and Fine and Applied Arts Liaison. We are joined today by Capilano Courier news editors Alicia Samnani and Bridget Stringer-Holden, who will be moderating this candidate forum. So if you'll forgive me for just a moment, I'm going to enable them to start their videos. And I'll pass the floor on to the Courier. Thanks so much.
Perfect. Thank you, John. So welcome to the second of two candidate forums for the Capilano Students Union by-election. On Tuesday, we heard from some of our at-large representatives, and if you missed that one, you'd like to see it, you can find it on the CSU YouTube and social media accounts later this afternoon. Today, we will be hearing from candidates for the Capilano Business and Professional Society Vice President, Capilano Accounting Association President, Capilano Human Resources Management Association President, Accessibility Justice Coordinator, Fine and Applied Arts Representative, and the Queer Students Liaison. We have prepared questions for all candidates, but we'll be asking for questions submitted by the audience after we've been through all of them. If you have a question, there is a Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. You can click that and submit a question to us. So I think we'd like to start off with Michaela. She's running for a Queer Students Liaison. So Michaela, what is it that you would like to accomplish this term if elected?
Hi, sorry. So if I am elected to the position of Queer Students Liaison for this term, I would like to try to help queer students to get that connection that we used to have on campus back off campus. So being able to connect and reach out through our Facebook page and things like that, email lists, and just trying to create a better sense of community that I feel like a lot of queer students are lacking right now during the pandemic, because we don't get to all meet in the queer room every Tuesday and all chat with each other. So that would probably be my biggest goal, is hoping to foster that sense of community and connection again that I feel like a lot of students are missing, as well as try to provide resources to students who unfortunately don't have safe home lives, who are having to stay at home during the pandemic and had like on-campus resources as kind of their only getaway from their not so great home lives, trying to provide resources to those folks so that they can feel safer wherever they are.
Perfect, thank you. And this is the third year that you're running for this position, correct?
It
So
is,
how come you decided to run again?
I originally thought that I wasn't going to have enough time with the amount of courses that I'm taking this semester. But then after the summer of not being in the position, I just missed it so much. I missed talking to everybody. I missed doing the work. And I had a lot of students reaching out to me, asking if I was going to run again, and if I wasn't, who they could go to. And I just wanted to make sure that they had somebody in their corner again this term. So yeah, just going to try to continue the work I've been doing for the last 2 years.
That's great. And so you've already been at the CSU for a while, but is there something that the CSU isn't currently doing that you wish they were?
Ooh, that's a good question. I heard when I was in, I went to a conference in Regina in February. Oh, that seems like so long ago now. And at the University of Regina, they do scholarships through their student union that students who are marginalized can apply for, that are outside of just the university scholarships. And little things like bursaries that don't have an application date, but that are ongoing throughout the year. So if you find yourself in the middle of the semester in a financial crisis and you can't afford groceries that week or things like that, different bursaries that can be awarded at any time like emergency bursaries, that I think that would be a really cool project that we could attempt to implement in the next couple years.
Awesome. Thank you, Michaela. And again, just a reminder to the audience, if you do have any questions for Michaela, we will go through them after we've gone through all the candidates. So thanks, Michaela.
Thank you.
And so next up is Alex Bergen, who is applying for or running for the Fine and Applied Arts representative. So Alex, when you're ready, why did you decide to run for this position?
Hi, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I decided to run for this position because I've been in the arts since I was 4 years old, and I'm incredibly passionate about using arts as a medium to push forward social change. I believe that as artists, it's our responsibility to use the gifts and strengths that we have as a community to rise up marginalized voices and also speak for those who might not be able to speak up for themselves. I believe that it's an accessible medium for anyone, regardless of socioeconomic background, disability, ability, gender, sexual orientation, or otherwise identity. And I think that if we all work together and use our strengths in this area, we can work together to have a really safe arts community for all the students at Capilano. So that was the main reason why I wanted to run, is because I'm very passionate about helping others in the arts, using the arts, and helping everyone have a really safe and incredible experience at school.
Perfect. And if you are elected this term, what's something that you would like to accomplish?
Something that I would really like to accomplish is I think right now we're lacking connection, and I think that there are a lot of really interesting ways using social media and Zoom to unite as artists and make art that is a voice for change, but also a voice for hope. I think that there are really unique ways for us to choreograph a dance and everyone do it on their own time and space, and we can edit that together to foster that sense of community. I'd also really like to host once a month meetings on Zoom where anyone in the arts community at school can come to and ask questions and sort of foster connection at a distance, so we're all safe, but also so that we don't feel alone. I know that a lot of artists are very emotional people and they have incredible strengths and gifts, and being alone at this time is very challenging, so fostering connection is something I would really like to accomplish this if I'm elected.
Okay. And so Alex, how familiar are you with the CSU and what they do on campus?
I've been very lucky as a first year. I've been kind of dipping my toes in everything and really diving headfirst into what the school does and especially what the student union does. I've been talking to our GEL, and he's been giving me a lot of really incredible information. I think it's really important that students help other students and create this community of multicultural and multi-different voices that we can all come together. And there's so many great programs. I know I am actually living alone for the first time, using the internet for good opportunity through the union because I couldn't afford internet to attend classes. So things like that really make school accessible, and I feel very safe knowing that there's a union I can rely on, and I would love to be a part of that.
Perfect. And is there something that the CSU isn't doing that you know of that you wish they were doing, or something you'd like to see them doing in the future?
I think that the CSU is doing a really incredible job, especially given the sort of tricky situations in the pandemic. I know I can't imagine how hard it must be doing this at a distance and all the work, and I'm very thankful for that. Something that I would love for the CSU to do is just continue fostering relationships. I think it's doing a really great job at providing a platform for new voices and existing voices to come together. So I don't think there's anything that I would add or change. Just continue doing what you're doing because it's making a huge difference in students' lives.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Alex.
Thank you.
And let's see. And I think I'll pass it off to Bridget next to talk to Ritika. Bridget?
Just go down here. We'll do Ritika for the Capilano Business and Professional Society Vice President. So why do you think you would be a good candidate for this position?
So one of the reasons why I think I would be a good candidate is that is because I have so much experiences in the business field. I come from my home country with a bachelor's degree, and throughout the last 1 year that I've spent at Capilano, I have spent time doing networking and fostering connections that could help gain more insights of the business environment or business society. Right now, I'm also doing an internship as a business development and finance coordinator. So if I get elected, I think my agenda would to bring more clarity of what people can do as a part of business society.
Perfect. Thanks. And that goes really well into my next question, which was actually, what would you like to accomplish this term?
Sorry, my voice cut down, but are you able to hear me?
Oh, yeah, sorry, we can hear you now. I was just asking, I went really well into the next question that's like, what's something that you would like to accomplish this term if you're elected?
To me, participating in this elections and being elected as the Vice President of Capilano Business and Professional Society, I am looking forward to learn. A lot of people think that if they are on a certain specific position, such as I'm also doing international mentor and leadership program, international mentor over there. A lot of people think that that the mentors or somebody who is like a president or vice president, they have some dominance over other people. However, the mentality that I have is like learn from people and inspire them. So what I would like to accomplish is learn and unlearn and learn a lot from people. So I have that mentality.
Perfect, thank you. So why did you decide to run for this position specifically?
For this position specifically, as I mentioned, I have a bachelor's degree in commerce. I'm also doing my postgrad diploma in North American business, and I am currently in my last semester. So I want to take initiative or like full interest in activities associated with Capilano, so that I have an overall experience working with Capilano, because my passion to come here in Canada was to gain a very good study abroad experiences. I have friends living here from a lot of years, and I know a lot of people come here to settle and everything, but I actually came here to have a study abroad experience. And so that's why I want to be more engaging in the campus and connect with people, foster more good relationships. So this is my idea for it.
And how familiar are you with the CBPS and what they do?
They're more related to budgeting, how planning more strategies for the overall governance of the society. So their main goal tends to be related to taking out policies or like addressing the concerns of the people who are doing business degrees at CAP. This is like an overall overview for me for the society. Yeah.
And is there something that the CBPS is not doing that you would wish they would do?
As Michaela said, like she has been a part of universities where universities are offering scholarships based on what you are experiencing at your university, doing a specific thing. To me, I think offering a business elective for people who are, a part of the business society would be something that people can look forward to. I know it's like a volunteer thing. People participate in such things to gain an overall experience. But if I'm asked the question, why not a business elective?
Thank you very much. I'm just going to pass it back over to Alicia for the Accessibility Justice Coordinator.
Perfect. Thanks, Bridget. Okay, so for Accessibility Justice Coordinator, today we have Ria and June that are running. So let's start with June. Why did you feel like you'd be a good candidate for this position?
Hi there, thanks for the question. I think for me, why I wanted to run for this position is a couple kind of twofold. Personally, like I'm a student at CAP with disabilities, so I have a very personal experience with dealing with issues of accessibility in my education. And then coupled with that, I have worked with a bunch of community organizations to design and implement programs that deal with issues of accessibility. So yeah, I just think that I have a lot of personal and kind of work experience thinking about things from a perspective of people with disabilities. So that makes me a good candidate for advocacy in the CSU.
Perfect. And I'm going to go to Ria now. Why did you feel like you would be a good candidate for this position? Ria, I believe you're muted. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
So in my opinion, I could be a good candidate for this position because I have worked with various communities such as homeless shelters and disability centers. So I like engaging and helping to people, and I feel that this would be a great opportunity for me to engage with the students at the Capilano University with accessibility needs.
Perfect. And Ria, if you're elected this semester, what would you like to accomplish this term?
So what I feel is, although CSU is a connection to the students to bring upon their issues, but there is still some lag behind with the students. They don't feel free or confident to put forward their issues, or sometimes the voices are not being reached to the board members. So I just want to be their voice to bring upon the issues right on the table before the board members, so that they can listen to problems, and we together can solve the issues immediately.
Perfect. And June, if you're elected, what would you like to accomplish this term?
Yeah, I agree with what Ria said, that often issues of accessibility aren't thought about in settings like not the CSU board particularly. I don't know what your proceedings are like, but I think it's important that we take a perspective that includes people with all levels of ability throughout all types of decisions on campus. For me personally, I think some hot button issues would be if we could offer some employee training of inclusivity, specifically to professors. I know I've had a lot of issues with implementing my accommodations with professors. I think that can be a real sticking point, even if you are registered with accessibility services. Sometimes your needs aren't respected in that way. And I feel that students shouldn't have to fight tooth and nail for equity for their education. Additionally, with this switch to online learning, I do not want to see disabled students fall through the cracks of the system, even though I know we're really overwhelmed with all these changes right now, but I think it's important to consider our needs throughout that. But moreover, I want to really have a opportunity to hear from other members of the community, because I know all of our issues that we face are unique. So I'd love to kind of create a community surrounding that so that we can all have our voices heard and our issues dealt with.
Perfect. And June, what's something that the CSU isn't doing, at least that you're aware of, that you wish they were doing?
Yeah, so I think that I don't 100% know all the initiatives, so I don't want maybe they are working towards getting better on this, but I think that the liaison with the accessibility office that's part of CAPU could be a lot stronger, because I think it's awesome that we have this collective that can advocate for students from an outside perspective, but I don't see a lot of action being taken with the accessibility department. I think there's still a lot of kinks that we could iron out when it comes to students registering and getting their needs respected from that perspective. So I'd love to make that relationship stronger, just so that people could really have their needs met more efficiently.
Perfect. And Ria, what's something that the CSU isn't doing that you wish they were doing?
I have seen we all receive various emails regarding the online events in this pandemic, but I haven't seen organizing a better and a more flexible event for the people with disabilities, so that they can come forward and enjoy on the same platform. I haven't seen such things in the university and coming from the CSU, so I really want to engage in this process and do something for them in this way.
Thank you. And Ria, if you had a student that brought up a concern to you that you didn't necessarily agree with, what would you do with, how would you address that with the student?
So CSU is not only about a particular member, it's a board of people, and I have various mentors who are above me, so I can seek help of them. Even if I don't agree with the issue or the solution, I will feel free to reach out to my mentors so that we can discuss together and form a better society.
Okay, thank you. And June, what would you do if a student brought up a concern to you that you didn't necessarily agree with?
I think that's a really interesting situation because I think that we all experience issues of disability so differently. So I can very much see that happening. So it's good to think about it before it happens. I think that it's not my job to pass judgment on anybody else's experience. So I would definitely want to come at it from a non-judgmental point of view and make sure that they feel like they're being fully heard, and then bring it to the board and we can have more of a group discussion about it, because it's possible that even if I don't agree with it, it's still a very valid position and it could be an issue for someone else. So I'd really want to make sure that I gave the complaint the due process that it deserved, even though it wasn't something that I experienced.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And now that we've gone through all the candidates, again, I'm just going to remind any audience members that we do have the Q&A button down at the bottom of your screen if you'd like to ask any questions in particular. And at the moment, it doesn't look like it, so I'll pass it off to Bridget.
Perfect. Thanks, Alicia. Since that is the end of our questions and there doesn't appear to be any from the audience or other attendees or panelists, I'll go on to the conclusion. I just wanted to remind everyone that we did do a forum on Tuesday, and you can see that video on the social media. It'll be on YouTube, the CSU's page. It should be up later this afternoon. I wanted to thank everyone who came today and just remind everyone of all the positions and who's running. So we have Michaela Volpe, who's running for the Queer Students Liaison. We have Reet, June, and Ria for the Accessibility Justice Coordinator, Alex Bergen and Saba Moseni for Fine and Applied Arts Representative. For the CBPS, Ritika was here today to be the Vice President, but we also have Aiden for the Capilano Accounting Association President and Richard for the Capilano Human Resources Management Association President. And on Tuesday, we heard from the at-large candidates. So there was Maya, Chan, Jaspreet, Vedant, Narinder, Ramanpreet, and Akira. Voting will take place from October 6th to October 8th. Ballots will be available at your CapU emails. The unofficial results will be published on the evening of the 8th, so you can check out our page, the Capilano Courier, or go to the Cap Student Union Instagram for updates. Alicia, John, did you have anything else to add?
Hey, just wanted to thank everybody for coming today. I'm very thrilled with everyone's performance, and I'm very, very happy to see everyone here today. Like Bridget was saying, we'll be posting these videos this afternoon, so we'll send you a link to that. You can share with your supporters and friends and family, and just don't forget to vote. Voting starts on Tuesday morning, ends on Thursday at 5 p.m. And thanks again to our moderators, did a wonderful job. And we'll see you at the polls. So long.